I think I might have just found a new upcoming gacha game that is so unique, that shares absolutely no similarities to any other game out there, that it might influence, it might motivate gamers from every other gacha game to migrate on over and play it when it officially launches. This game might successfully kill every gacha game there is. Honkai Star Rail, Arknights, Genshin Impact, even upcoming games like Wuthering Waves, Project Mugen, Arknights Enfield. This right here is the penultimate. This is the gacha game that we will be playing for the rest of our lives because it is pure and utter perfection. That is what I'd like to say. But the reality of it is, that's just not the case. The game in question is called Axis of Eternity. This is a game that honestly shares a lot of similarities with a certain other gacha game out there that might be a little bit obscure. You know, like this totally doesn't look like Dvalin. This right here, she doesn't look at all like Jean. Before we get into exactly what this game is though, I reacted to the trailer with hundreds of you over on Twitch. So let me go ahead and play that. Then we'll dive into what the game is, what we can expect, and whether we should be excited for it. Wait, before we go ahead and take a look though, can we take bets? Can we take bets? Is this gonna be good or bad? And how many of you think this is gonna look like Genshin Impact? It's gonna be bright, vibrant, with Genshin-like characters. All right. This looks much worse than Azure Promelia, though. Wait, what? This is on PC. This is oh, what a shot. This kind of reminds me of like Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact. I'm not gonna lie, chat. This is like a really budget, we have Genshin at home kind of game. So that's what the combat looks like, right? I'll give them credit here for actually using real gameplay for their trailer, but that's what the combat looks like. Okay. Can we just take a moment here to appreciate that a game that just entered beta testing, right? Duet Night Abyss has combat that looks as fast and fluid as this, right? Can we just take a second to appreciate how good, fast, and fluid this combat looks comparatively to what we're seeing in this trailer right here? This looks so cheap. Is the FPS low? It does feel like the FPS for this trailer is low. We're running at about 18 FPS for the trailer, guaranteed. What is that game? It's what we've been streaming this whole time. Duet Night Abyss. What is this game though? Something Axis. Dude, isn't that like, what was the dragon called at the beginning of Genshin? Dvalin or something? Doesn't that look just like him with really crappy looking water tornadoes? But this is like a Lego version of him. Be the standard for future open world games. Dvalin Storm Terror. Okay, yeah. I don't know, chat. This this doesn't look too good to me. Very unexpressive and unemotive. Walmart Dvalin. Yeah. It's like a dragon from Genshin that you first fight as a big boss. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, Dvalin. I'm pretty sure that was his name. That's your dollar store Raiden Shogun. All right. Nice. Yeah. Before we look at any additional info concerning Axis of Eternity, though, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. Allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are phenomenal, and I cannot thank you all enough for the support. As you can tell, it shared some very strong similarities to Genshin Impact, and I mean, there's really no denying that. Every game wants to be the next Genshin. Is this game going to be? Probably not. Let's see what the game's even about first, all right? Before we jump to conclusions here. Welcome to the world of the brave. When you come here, you'll embark on an adventurous journey full of unknowns and adventures. It's time to sit off. Are you ready? I'm sure you're ready. Axis of Eternity, which is apparently its English translation. Axis of Eternity is a fantasy-themed open-world action game with a truly high degree of freedom. Yep, this is very unique. As I stated, it is an open-world, anime graphic action game with a high degree of freedom. That's not something we've heard anywhere else. Yeah, this is purely specific to this game. Here, you have unprecedented freedom and endless exploration of the game world. Whoa, they're definitely selling me on this game. Here, the plots and tasks are rich and colorful, and the character interactions are fun. Here, you can create a unique ending with your own hands. The kinds of endings I like to create are happy. I like a good old-fashioned happy ending, where wisdom and creativity are intertwined. Here, the world is full of surprises, and you'll have fun with many characters. Oh, I'm sure we will. Here, you and your friends will fight side by side and work together to establish a new order. By friends, I wonder if it means other players. And here is a little excerpt of the game from the developers themselves. Welcome to the paradise of Axis of Eternity. I am the producer of the project. We can't believe that the game has really come to everyone after all, except for various big companies. No one dares to rush into the open world label. On the contrary, I feel like every gacha game studio these days are trying to adapt their own version of an open world gacha game. I think I've covered like a dozen or so over the course of the last 6 months alone. The original intention of the idea comes from the idea of improving current mainstream product. Oh, they plan on improving current mainstream gacha games. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna improve upon Genshin, Wuthering Waves, Mugen, Arknight's Enfield, 100%. Flesh and blood characters, a coherent and orderly plot that does not collapse, a huge, interesting, and rich world capacity. So they think the games out there right now don't have interesting and rich worlds. They think they don't have decent plots. Oh, trust me, I've seen the plot in a lot of gacha games, and I approve. This should be the foundation for an open world product, and it is also the cornerstone of a high quality game under the industrial development process. But in addition, I want the process of exploration to be full of fun. So do I, really. An operation or vibration of the keyboard. No, my keyboard is happy to remain completely stationary. I'm good. Mouse or even the handle can bring a great sense of pleasure and stimulate your... Are we still talking about the game here? I mean, let's, I guess, continue. Stimulate the adrenaline in the body. Yes, as you can see, this game will be an open world that emphasizes on ACT elements. Okay, that's kind of interesting. When I first proposed the idea, I felt a bit delusional. But luckily, I met a partner who is young and fearless like me. So you want to stimulate your body, and you're describing someone who's young and fearless. High standards and high expectations for ACT content. With the support of technology, ideas can be implemented, inspiration can take root and sprout, and the tree of life that will eventually support the world will grow. Another level of confidence comes from knowing ourselves. Yes, we are all serious ACG fans. But I still believe the development process of open world should also be open. The world is a big place. No one can know everything and have omnipotence. No one wants to be directly represented. I think Twitter would strongly disagree with this statement right here. So here, we welcome any of your wild imaginations, and please let us see any opinions about the game. I hope that this game carries our common love. No matter how far the road ahead is, love can withstand the passage of time. It can also break through the wind and frost of swords. All right, yeah. So, You know, this is a very interesting post from the developer. They made a post over on TapTap accompanying the initial trailer where they state that our baby is really just a little baby now, a toddler. He may be a little wobbly. I know you may be looking forward to, but I also hope that you can adjust your expectations a little bit because we decided to share some real life effect, early combat performance, scene effects, character movements, etc., purely to give you a rough idea of our idea. Look at what we've done. We still can't create photos. So basically they're saying this is still very early in the development process. Please don't assume that this is essentially going to be the final product. So I know we laughed at it a little bit during the trailer, our reaction to the trailer, and I do understand this is in the early stages of development, so I would like to note that we shouldn't take the game and assume it is going to be what we are seeing right now in its final product, because it has a lot of time to improve, a lot of time to change, as all games do. I mean, if you guys remember, Tower of Fantasy used to look horrible, and then they did a mass graphical overhaul and it looked a lot better. The same can be said with Wuthering Waves, how they changed their character models and the new characters look exponentially better than they used to. So we shouldn't judge the game based off of the singular trailer. This is just their very first trailer. And I know there are games out there like Arknights Enfield and Azure Premilia that released first trailers for their game that look phenomenal, but not everyone has the budget that either Azure Premilia or Arknights Enfield have. We'll definitely have more things to release later, and those may be closer to our original version and our expectations, or your expectations rather. Don't rush to a conclusion this time. Think of this as the beginning or of more exchanges between us in the future. Good. No, I'm glad. I think, honestly, this game doesn't look too good based off of the one trailer we've seen, but I also don't think we should judge the game based off of that singular trailer because, again, they have a lot of room for improvement here, and I am genuinely excited to see where this game goes moving into the future. Now, I would like to point out they have taken a lot of inspiration from Genshin here, a lot, and I think if you're going to create a Genshin-adjacent game, at least make it look and feel original. That is not the case with this. I think this is essentially a carbon copy, and that is very low effort. If you're going to make a game that's like Genshin, at least do what Wuthering Waves is doing and make it look and feel completely different and have an entirely different focus on a different part, a different aspect of the game, because Wuthering Waves is nothing really like Genshin is. It may have started off similar to Genshin, but it is its own entire being now, and that is what this game is going to need to do if they want to achieve any form of success. Now, if Axis of Eternity is not a gacha game you're all interested in, absolutely no problem. Got you covered 2 different videos on screen right now that might be more up your alley.